Morning, y'all. Welcome back. Did everybody get their clock set back? Get an extra hour sleep? Let me know. I didn't. I got up at normal time, which was actually an hour earlier than it should have been. So anyway, I think today I'm going to work on changing this Ford, and we're going to make a dump truck out of it. So what do you think about that? All right, so we are using this Green Machine dump truck, which, if you've been watching me, you know my feelings on Green Machines and Raws and all that. That's just an extra way for him to get more money out of our pockets. So this truck is not going to be worth a lot of money. It never will be. It's a yellow truck. There's just millions of them made. I just don't see where this thing's going to be worth anything. So we are going to build it. And it has a metal chassis, which is good. We're going to cut these running boards off of here because they won't work on our single cab truck. And if you have worked on one of these, you know that they're a pain in the butt to take apart. Got 2 rivets here. There's no rivet in the back. So, but what helps hold this thing together is the toolboxes. And you have to take the toolboxes off to get the cab off the truck. And sometimes popping these toolboxes off can be a chore. This time it's being easy on me. So let me get the toolboxes off and I'll show you what it's covering. Yeah. It's trying to go. It's just being stubborn. You want to be careful because obviously you don't want to damage the toolboxes because we want to reuse them. Alright. So the reason why you have to take those off is now you see these 2 yellow tabs and you see these 2 pins here. The toolbox slides, I don't know if you can be able to see that. There's a little slot there that slides over the yellow piece, and then there's a hole that goes on the pin. So that helps to hold the bed and the cab and everything together. So now that we've got that apart, now we can pry this cab off of here. And it's still not that easy because right here in the back where this black plastic piece is, that truck is sitting on there, so you have to kind of pry that up as you're trying to pry this off. It's there. Now we're off. See a little pin there that was help holding it in. So now that's off of there. So now the back part, we will not touch anything back here. The only thing we'll do is we'll pop it up so we can paint all that green, which kind of sucks. That's a lot of green in there to paint, but we'll get her. So what we'll do is we got to cut all the fender wells off. We got to straighten up the front to make room for our square nose truck. And then probably have to cut this pin off, cut the running boards off, and then cut these 2 pins off here. And then we'll get to where we can shorten it. So a lot of work before we can get to that point. So let me get the wheels and tires off of here because I don't want to damage these because I may be able to use them for a future project. So I will probably use the wheels off of my recent F450 truck that we turned into a square body service bed truck, excuse me. So let me get some of this hacked off of here and I'll be right back. Alright guys and gals, we have officially ran into our biggest problem yet, and this one's going to stop this build. We're going to have to get a different cab. The reason being is the way they make these cabs is, I don't know if you can notice that or not, if I can get something to point with here. The way the top of the mirror is, there's a hole in the cab where they put the mirror through, and there's a hole down here, which this one down here is not so bad. I can cover that up if I put a different mirror on it. But if I take this mirror off, now I'm stuck with this hole in the top of the cab, which is no good. We don't want that. So the reason why we have to switch cabs is, as you can see, when I put this dump truck on here, this truck on the cab, the mirrors do not clear the bed, which in my opinion is kind of dumb. It doesn't look realistic. It's kind of a waste of time. So we are going to find a different cab, and we're probably going to go with an M2 cab just for the simple fact that M2 cabs are a little bit wider. So I need to find another cab for this truck build. So give me a minute here till I find one. Alright, so I think we're going to go with this 89 Dodge Ram D-350. The reason it makes this truck better is it doesn't have mirrors on it already, so there's no holes in here. I have my 802 Customs Dodge truck tow mirrors that will go on here and look perfect. And this won't be bad. It'll be a 350 instead of a 250 instead of what we were going to have. And I'll figure out something else to do with this Dodge. And this is still a green light cab, so it's still as narrow as the Ford cab. But like I said, with the new mirrors that I have that I can put on here, they will extend out past the bed and it'll look better. Plus, I don't think I have done a Dodge truck of this year in a dump truck. And I can use the wheels and tires that came on this truck. So there's all kind of bonuses for using this truck over the other one. So let me get this one tore apart and we'll see if we can make her fit. Alright, so I got this cab all chopped down and ready to go. Had to grind the tabs off the back. Hopefully I can just paint that black a little bit and no one will really notice it. And other than that, now all we got to do is we still got to narrow the chassis a little bit because it's just a little bit too wide for our cab. So we'll cut that down a little bit. We'll drop the cab down on there all the way, and then we will start figuring out where we're going to cut everything else. We're gaining on her. So I've got it to this point. I forgot to cut back in and show you a stage, but you've seen the process. I glue the cab all together, and then I start gluing it onto the back after I get my cut fixed. So I got my cut set. I don't know if you can see it there. I got my cut all set up in there. I've got her gluing, got her sitting there drying. I got the tires ready to go on there. We're just waiting for it to dry. I decided that I'm going to wait and paint everything after it dries. This way I make sure I get everything in one shot. I don't have to go back over and paint it again after I put it all back together. But that's where we're at so far. Like I said, got her on there. The bed works. We just got to let her sit and dry for a little bit, and then we'll continue. Alright, as you can see, I got wheels and tires on it. Get these out of the way there. I just had them sitting there because I didn't know where to put them. She's not the best roller because the wheels are getting hung up. So as much as I hate to, I'm just going to have to lift it just a little bit here and try to get rid of that problem. But other than that, she's coming along pretty good. What do y'all think so far? I like those white wheels. I think those look good on there. We just got to paint out all that green and get rid of that, and she'll look pretty good. And then we got to get the mirrors on there still. So hang on, hang tight. I'm getting there. Alright, so we finally got some wheels and tires on it. That's all that is drying on there right now. Like I said, everything still works good. So now all we got to do is let this dry a little bit, and then I need to do a lot of painting. Got to hang the toolboxes back on, put the mirrors on, and then she'll be set. So let me get some painting done. Maybe I'll throw on some other stuff here, and I'll be right back. Well, y'all, it's only been a week. I think I finally got it finished. It's been a crazy week for me. I have not been able to finish this in timely fashion like I would like to have. But it is what it is. Again, like I've said before, sometimes life comes at you and you just got to deal with what you get. So here we are. I've got her all done. You can see I went ahead and I threw some white sideboards on there. And I won't lie, it's mostly because I already had a piece that was painted white from a different project. So I just cut some pieces off of that and thought the wheels are white. It ought to fit right in. What do y'all think? I think it looks good like that. So I got the toolboxes on there. She still dumps good. Got our 802 Customs mirrors on there. I put a gear shift inside. You can see that there just barely. And then, like I said, everything else looks good. Got the bottom all painted up. She's looking pretty good. So I'd say she's about done. Even got the backs of the mirrors painted. So we're all set. So the only drawback is you can see how tall, how much more room there is between the headache rack and the cab. And that's only because these newer trucks that they're making, the cabs are just so much taller than the older cabs. So if you're going to make one of these, just remember that you're probably going to have a little bit of a good gap. I don't know if it looks bad on camera, but when you're up close and personal, it's clearly a lot, there you can see, it's clearly a lot higher than what it needs to be. But that's what we get when you change an old cab and you put it on a newer style dump truck. But I still think it looks good. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. You like this one? Should I left it alone? It's my 1989 Dodge Ram D-350 dump truck. That's a lot to say. Anyway, I really am glad you guys stopped by and checked out this video today. If you like this, think about liking, subscribing. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on eBay. As usual, all that information is in the description below. Don't forget to come back. Y'all have a great day. Bye now.